Now, forewarned weather with Exact Track Ford.
Well, coming off a pretty wet Wednesday, we're going to dry out briefly, and then we have a few more shower and storm chances as we inch into the weekend. But let's first start with the weather story. Temperatures are on the rise, mid-80s today, but upper 80s tomorrow and possibly 90 on Friday. The humidity also ticking upward with that heat, and that creates instability. So we do have storm potentially tomorrow. I think a better chance Saturday, and we're going to dive in the details of that in just a moment here. But let's plan for your Thursday, Friday Eve, shall we call it, mid-80s for the afternoon high. And we'll have more sun than clouds, but the cloud cover does increase a little bit heading into the afternoon. Now, with the heat and humidity, just like Florida, you can't rule out a pop-up shower, but if we see something like that develop today, I think it's going to be incredibly isolated. The majority of us will be dry today, but rainfall totals were impressive yesterday, in pockets at least, and we did have a flood advisory yesterday afternoon that went for a few hours that was mainly downriver. And so let's talk more about that, because we did pick up upward, radar indicated at least, upward of 3 inches in Melvindale and Lincoln Park, where some standing water was an issue, and then right around that 2-inch mark by Fenton, Heartland, and Ortonville. So there were some heavy downpours, and there will be the potential tomorrow for upward of 2-inch rainfall, maybe even closer to 3. But I'm calling this a boom or bust forecast, as there are a couple different atmospheric conditions heading into Friday that will either really diminish the rain and storm chance or bring all that moisture into our area. So we're following what's happening in the plains today, as there is a line of heavy rain and lightning that could potentially work its way here. So there's a marginal level 1 risk for heavy rainfall and some storms tomorrow. Now, that same risk factor Saturday, but it's a different mechanism. It's a cold front that's going to sweep through, and that's where we have a higher chance of seeing those showers and storms develop. So here's a look at Friday. I'm going to say this model potentially would underplay the amount of rain, but you at least get an idea of the timing, right? So scattered showers around 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon, and then it's out of here by evening. So kind of that peak heat of the day. As we head into your Saturday, now typically you would see the showers be aligned with the frontal passage, this cold front, but because we get that heat and humidity earlier, we can't rule out the potential for those storms to fire off earlier than when this front passes through. Front comes through overnight, but I'm going to say into the afternoon and evening Saturday, we potentially have that storm chance. That rain does linger into the pre-dawn hours of Sunday before we then dry things out throughout the day Sunday, and we'll take those drier conditions into the earlier part of next week. Let's go ahead and take a closer look at the weekend forecast, and even up north, as we'll be right around 90 Saturday before those storms roll through. And then as we head north, well, you'll notice pretty much everywhere in lower Michigan has that storm chance come Saturday. But in Alpena, we're going to be on either side of 80 for Friday through Sunday. Mackinac Island, a smidge cooler, mid to upper 70s. And then as we travel over to the northwestern part of the Mitten, we're talking Traverse City, probably low to mid 80s, but there will be a chance for a shower storm Friday with that better chance going into your Saturday. So 7-day forecast here close to home, upper 80s come Friday, 90 Saturday, though it's worth noting with the heat indices will feel more like mid to upper 90s, and then we only fall a few degrees Sunday before we're back close to 90 for the first half of next week.